Hello, soul family.
Hello, beautiful people.
We have a lot to share today. We're just going to start with saging everyone. And as I sage, let's say a powerful intention for this transmission. A powerful intention that I am present for this transmission fully, here, now, in this time, space, reality. May this entire transmission be shown to me from the lens of my higher self and my higher self alone. May all illusion of my negative ego be kept aside for this transmission. May my higher self show me the truth of my reality, of my life circumstances, and how I and I alone am a channeler, am a manifester, am a creator of this reality that I have manifested around me. May any doubts, may any myths, may any challenges that I'm facing in my current life be revealed to me from its root, from its soul lesson of what it is being presented to me for, and what lessons are here for me in this time-space reality right now. Harmonizing the field. Calming the mind. Arriving here.
Taking some deep breaths.
Cleansing, calming your system.
And fully disconnect from the outside world. And just make this intention for this to be your sacred time.
Asking your personal guides and angels to help calm your mental body, to help calm the busyness of your mind, to help calm all the distractions, all the challenges, all the chaos in your lives, so that you may just enjoy this and absorb this to the depths of your DNA. We love you so much. Let's get started.
And our intention is to channel very high healing frequencies for the collective today. We spent the whole day ourselves, clearing ourselves. We had a very nice breakfast. We slept in, and I went to the gym after.
I enjoyed a fire at home.
Yeah, and
it was a beautiful day.
We came back and just cleared ourselves with a deep healing, and our intention was just to show up as the highest, brightest versions of ourselves, so we could share the highest light with humanity, because these are challenging times for many people, and we all need to be strong. And we have many messages of hope to bring you back into your heart center, and we hope that you receive them with love.
So today, as Siman went to the gym and I lay by the fire, I literally lay on the couch for over 2 hours in complete stillness, in complete numbness, but not a negative numbness. It was more like a neutral observer that wasn't me. And I felt Divine Mother very, very, very tangibly, and I still feel her right now in my aura. I feel her very tangibly. It's a frequency of the most unconditionally loving mother, but also a mother that is hurting, a mother that is hurting to see the plight of her children, to see the plight of many wrong choices being made, to a mother that is hurting to see how much humanity is suffering, but at the same time, so much of that suffering is as a result of our own choices. So basically what is happening right now in the collective is humongous. We're going to go into a galactic update. We're going to go into an astrological update, an energy update, and then we're going to lay it down for you. What are the initiations that there's so many initiations, we cannot possibly cover them all in this video, but what are some of the main initiations that humanity, Lightworkers especially, are going through right now?
Wait, I'm gonna get my Vogel quickly.
Okay. And how are we doing with all of these initiations, and what are the areas we're miserably failing in, and what are the areas that we're succeeding in. There were two very important questions. There were over 300 questions that many of you asked us to cover in today's video, but there were two that spoke to my heart. One was by EldoRa, and one was by, I can't remember, Melinda or Belinda. I've written down your name, and we're going to go into those to give you clarity. So before you even start, affirm. Right now there's a lot of manipulation that we're seeing, and Siman's going to go into it via Galactic Update. There's a lot of interference we're seeing in the field, not just here, in the whole planet, not just for Lightworkers, but for all of humanity. And what's happening right now is that your ego is trying its very best to confuse you, and we're going to go into why. So there's a lot of confusion in the field. There's a lot of interference, despair, like who do we believe, who don't we believe.
A lot of psychic attacks.
A lot. Psychic attacks are at their all-time high right now. Yeah. So before you even start, just affirm to yourself, say, may I see life, may I see this transmission only through the lens of my higher self and nothing less than that.
Through the lens of love.
And through the lens of love. May it be so for the highest good of all. And so it is.
And so it is. So astrologically, this has been like a storm. When we said a couple of months ago, the storm is coming, this is the time we were speaking of. And astrologically, it all aligns. Since the beginning of November until January 12 or so, Mars is in retrograde. And Mars, as we know, represents anger, represents our darkest, deepest, hostile desires. It makes us behave in knee-jerk reactions, and a lot of this hostility is playing out on the planet right now. There's infighting between Lightworkers, there's infighting between family members, there's infighting between countries. So Mars is really shaking things up, and people who are not fully in their heart center, people who are not fully connected to their own inner guidance system and wisdom of their own knowing, they're following the tidal waves, and they're just being thrown and thrashed around, and they're going with the flow. And that can sometimes be very tricky and dangerous, especially because another astrological alignment that is taking place towards the mid of December, and it's already influencing us, is Aries in Jupiter. And Aries in Jupiter, it makes us, it gives us boldness and courage. It makes us act bold and courageous. And it convinces you that you're right and nothing can stop you from taking action. So this is a very tricky combination combined with the hostile energy of Mars. If you take the hostility of Mars retrograde and you combine them with I'm right and you are wrong, and I'm going to take action against you, and I'm going to bring this revenge energy against you, then you're literally being played by the galactic energies that are here to show you your own shadows. Okay? So you have to pay attention and not become a puppet to these energies, but really hone in and stop yourself from your knee-jerk reactions, because the whole point of all of these energies is to show you where you are still out of vibration, where you are still out of harmony with the essence of love, with the essence of peace, with the essence of harmony, with the essence of neutrality.
Gratitude, peace,
exactly.
Joy, discernment, all
discernment.
of it.
And many people are falling into deceptions because Mars can make us take very extreme kind of actions. It can take us into very extreme stances that I'm right, you are wrong.
And that are completely taking people away from their ascension, completely.
Yes, exactly. So many people are behaving in very erratic ways. You may have experienced this in your own life. You may have seen this in society where there's people, suicide rates may be going up, fights may be going up, arguments may be going up, countries fighting each other may be going up. So all of this hostility is here to teach us that as a human race, we are here to move past this hostility. We are here to harmonize this hostility, because this is what the ascension process is all about. Okay? So in a way, we have to stop ourselves from taking knee-jerk reaction, and realize that when we align with our own inner guidance system, take a moment to tune into your heart. Just close your eyes and take a moment to tune into your heart and connect with the energy of your heart, and bring all your energy from the outside world, from this outside chaos, from the outside focus, and just harmonize with your heart for a moment. What do you feel? You just feel peace. You just feel stillness. There's no chaos within. The chaos is all outside. So this is here to teach us that as long as we put all of our focus outside, as long as we get attached to the stories of he said this, she said this, he is wrong, I am right, I'm going to now prove my story against their story, you're still playing in the realms of duality. Don't you realize that this is taking you away from your own truth? This is taking you away from your own ascension.
And it's only harming you. It's
Exactly.
harming no one else but
Many
you.
people have spent thousands of lifetimes training for this lifetime. And this particular lifetime is the finish line where we can see the ascension. We're literally racing the green mile.
Which is why it's so intense.
Yeah, we're literally racing towards the finish line. And we're about to ascend. Our final lessons, which are also the harshest lessons, are coming up.
We are the ascending tribes of Gaia, my friends.
Exactly. We have the opportunity not just of a lifetime, but of thousands of lifetimes where we've learned so many lessons. We've sacrificed so much. We've been through war. We've been through all kinds of disruptions in our life, and we've sacrificed so much to get to this particular lifetime. But you see, unfortunately, many light workers and humanity in general are still falling into the story and still falling into the darkness and forgetting that we all came here to harmonize in love. We all came here to unite. We all came here to be a single human tribe. There's no more discernment that you need. If there are forces that are playing you, if there are deceptive forces, dark forces that are playing you against anything, that in itself should be enough for you to discern. Anything that is not uniting, anything that is separating, anything that is blaming, anything that is judging, all of these
Projecting.
energies are ego.
Yes.
That's all there is to it. So the reason why many people are falling prey to these and falling victim to these stories, it's because we're disconnected from our own inner guidance system.
Yes.
And we'll get into how to discern the dark forces manipulating you and the light forces that is the light within you. The
And
light
to be
within you
honest-
is your inner guidance system.
And to be honest, baby, this is exactly what I feel all light workers are struggling with. There's so much going on in the collective. They're like, so what we've been seeing in our immediate reality is the people around us, what's being shown to us. And this is why Divine Mother was just like in a bit of shock. Like I felt the pain of Divine Mother today when I was laying by the fire. And the pain comes from the fact that even Ascension students who've gone through immense training in the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years are making the most basic mistakes in choices. And what I mean by that is, and you know, the pain of Divine Mother is not because of the wrong choices. It is because of how much humanity has been cut off from their heart.
Yes.
This is the pandemic. This is the main cancer that is going on. So what's going on is right now, humanity is so cut off from their internal guidance system. They're so cut off from their heart. Their vibration has dipped to such a low point of stress, of worry, of density, basically, that instead of rising up by using all of these teachings and all of the wisdom that has been pouring in from so many collective guides over the past several years who've been actively helping us with our ascension, what people are doing is they're making knee-jerk reactions so strong that they're cutting themselves off from their ascension and literally going back into the loop of misery, going back into the loop of drama, backbiting, gossiping, blaming. And you know, there's something that was shown to us very clearly recently. You guys all know that the dark, their entry point, the entry point of the dark is the lower emotions that we all carry, right? So what happens is that, let's say a person is carrying an energy of blame, this specific frequency was shown to us very clearly. Let's say a person is carrying this frequency of blame, saying, I am unhappy because she is doing that, or he is doing that, or whatever reason, the blame. This energy of blame, so really check in, where are you blaming someone else for your misery? Where are you blaming someone else for your low vibration? And this was shown to us that when you carry the energy of blame, what happens is that is a very, very potent entry point for the dark to consume you.
Yeah.
And another thing that was shown to us is many people have been addicts in the past. Many light workers who are being possessed right now by dark entities, these people look normal. They look like normal, chirpy, happy light workers, many of them. On the surface. But deep down, they have so much insecurity. Deep down, they have so many unhealed childhood wounds. They have so many mother wounds,
Even
father
addictions,
wounds.
like you said.
Addictions.
Addictions play a big part in the dark consuming you.
And a lot of these entities we were shown are dormant within these light workers or these beings of these people. And they kid themselves into thinking, okay, we're light workers, we're ascending. But what they don't do is they don't take a hard look in the mirror and say, holy shit, I'm vibrating really low. And this is actually something that came through very strong. For most people, for people watching to do is take a hard look in the mirror and be blatantly and brutally honest with yourself and say, oh my God, I am in a miserably low vibration. I have a lot of entities in me. Look at my reality. It seems really dark. I don't have confidence. I don't have self-worth. I don't have self-love. I don't have, I'm not happy. My children are bothering me. My son is irritating me. Everything, life is getting to me.
Or
I have a
I'm not
job.
happy with my spouse.
I have a relationship that is draining me. I'm not happy with my job. I'm not happy, period. So what is being shown to us very clearly is that most people, instead of taking a hard look at their vibration and saying, I am miserable, which is actually a very high frequency to have the onus to say that, what a lot of light workers are doing is they're saying, I'm not feeling good, so I'm going to see how I can blame it on someone else.
I'm going to pin it on someone else because that's the easiest thing to do.
And when they do that, that gives the dark an entry point, these dormant entities within them, to activate and start controlling them, manipulating them. And what happens is their storyline gets so convincing to them because they can't look at their own life and say, okay, I am miserable because of me. I am not happy because of me. I have low self-worth because I haven't given myself self-love. So instead of doing that, they're projecting. So we'll get into all of that in a bit. Yeah. But this is coming through very strong to really, and I urge you guys to listen to this video multiple times because after the astrological update, we're going to go deep into some of the initiations you're going through. And we're going to go really slow. We're going to go really deep. And we really want you guys to get it because these initiations are not baby initiations. To some of us, they may seem like, okay, these are easy. Like, why isn't humanity getting it? But you guys will be shocked at the initiations that light workers are literally failing right now.
Yeah. From a galactic perspective, these are kindergarten initiations, but that is not to belittle anyone. That is not to make you feel bad that you are still vibrating in a place where you are falling prey to these kind of dark energies. But this is something that we're sharing with our utmost unconditional love, because when I wanted to start with the energy update for 2023 in December and what can you expect next year. And I'm saying this with all of my unconditional love. 2023 energies are not going to be a walk in the park. They're going to be very easy for people who are doing their inner work. They're going to be easy for people who are already well ahead in their light work, who are already aligned with their soul's path, people who have cleared all the clutter, all the drama, all the misery, all the bad relationships, all the things that are not resonating. The schedule for the Ascension was that by 2022, it was the cutoff point for us to do all of our homework. And since 2012 till 2022, we were given a decade to clear our lives of all the clutter. Some people have aced it. Others have kind of like, they're in the middle process. They're still in the transition process,
and we're
which is okay.
seeing this in our own vortex.
And it's okay if you're trying hard and you're not succeeding. That's okay. if you're moving in the right direction, if you're not falling prey to hatred and blame and all these lower frequencies, but you're trying hard towards your ascension, then don't blame yourself, because the
Yes.
angels will take 10 steps towards the people who are actually making effort. But
Yes.
now I'm speaking to the people who are actually causing infighting within Lightworker communities, because that is one of the hardest karma you can incur upon yourself. And to those people I'm addressing, that 2023 will really knock your socks off. Unfortunately, that is the truth. For people who have done the inner work or are doing the inner work and are well ahead on their journey or are in the transition and are committed to taking action on the goals that they have set for themselves over the past few years, who have actually cleared their lives of all the things that are not resonating, for them 2023 will be a different timeline, completely different timeline. For them, it'll be a timeline of new earth communities, excitement, celebrations,
abundance,
getting
yes.
together.
And we're already in that
And
timeline.
because
We
when
can see it.
People
We're in
who
it.
people who've cleared a lot of their trauma and people who don't play with the drama, they're actually moving ahead. They're actually
Yes.
becoming a vibrational match for other people who just want to play in love.
Yes.
But people who want to play in drama, what do you think they're going to attract? They're going to attract drama next year.
Yes. And they're going to stay in that loop of misery.
Exactly. And another thing that's making these energies very, very dense right now is December 29th, Mercury goes into retrograde. So when Mercury goes into retrograde, all kinds of things go backwards. If you're already keeping yourself in a low vibration of blame and pointing fingers at others and not taking responsibility for your own participation in what you have created, at the end of the day, it's your ascension, nobody really gives a damn. I'm going to be very blunt with you. Nobody gives a damn. Your angels don't give a damn. It's you. You have to pick up, you have to roll up your sleeves, you have to do the work.
Yes, and it's actually like that, guys. Your guides love you unconditionally. Your angels love you unconditionally. Siman and I love you unconditionally. But what is unconditional love? It is very misunderstood on the human plane, on the earth plane. Unconditional love is tough love. Unconditional love is tough love.
Because, and what I meant, I want to clarify by your angels don't give a damn.
Yes.
I want to actually go into
Please
that.
do.
Your angels don't give a damn. What that means is that if you are playing in low vibrations and if you are still playing in stories and slinging shit at each other, then the angels, what they do, they're not going to come and baby you. They're going to back off and they're going to say, okay, this baby needs to fall on their face first.
Yes.
And then they need to realize that this mud is icky. And then they're going to realize that I better clean up my act and go take a shower. I better go cleanse myself of all these entities. I better rid myself of my alcohol addictions or whatever is keeping you playing in these lower astral fields. And then you're going to have to do double the work next year. And the astrology of next year is very tricky. So that's what I meant by angels always love you unconditionally. And part of unconditional love is sometimes they're going to back off from you.
Yes.
They're going to let you make the mistakes so that you are able to decipher what you need to correct in your own life. Angels do not baby you. Ascended masters do not baby you.
Guides do not baby you.
Exactly.
We do not baby you.
And it is the highest frequency of love with which we are telling you this, that next year, the energies are going to get very tricky. They're going to be like up and down. And you need to bring your A game. You need to be in your mastery. You need to be in unconditional love.
In your 100%
neutrality,
integrity.
in your heart.
100%.
You need to get your shit together next year. And many people are rocking it. Many people are acing it. They're here to serve Prime Creator.
You know, I'm going to interject you on that. From what I'm seeing and the Divine Mother energy that was flowing through me, many people are not acing it. A minority of light workers.
Actually, that's true.
The
minority
truth is, a
acing
minority of light workers, a very sad minority of light workers are acing it.
Yeah. But I also want to give encouragement to the people who are actually trying hard. That is also counted in many people who are actually trying hard. And even if you're trying hard, but you're not falling victim to the dark strategies and you're keeping your head above the water, then you're in the plus, you're not in the minus. But if you're actually falling prey to these dark energies, then it will be a difficult period for you. So going back to Mercury going into retrograde in December 29th, all kinds of things go haywire. Technology goes haywire. There may be accidents, there may be mishaps, there may be things that are supposed to go this way will go that way. So this is not a time to make new plans. And also because this is the end of the year, this is the time for introspection.
Yes.
So Mercury retrograde is the perfect time to put pen to paper, to cleanse your house of clutter, to put yourself in a sacred space, tell your family members you need some silence and alone time. Maybe go out in nature or go into your sacred temple, which could be your room, and build an altar or just light a candle. It's as simple as that. No, you don't need to go through lengthy procedures, but just put pen to paper and write down all the milestones that you have achieved this year. Write down all the achievements that you have already celebrated, and recap the whole year and say, these were my biggest challenges, these were my biggest fears that came up, these were my biggest achievements that came up. And it's always a very good idea to remind yourself of your achievements. And sometimes your achievements can, to your ego, they may not look like achievements, but sometimes your achievements can be, I did not do something negative that I used to do. I dropped a negative habit. That's an achievement.
Yes.
So if you even smiled at a stranger, and before you used to be just gloomy all the time, if you even dared to make contact with new people who uplift you, if you even
donated, help someone in need.
Yeah, if you were generous, if you are able to
or even heal something within yourself.
Yeah.
Like self-reflect on one thing. If you've reflected on one thing this year and said, okay, I've been envious of people and I'm no longer envious of people now. That's a huge achievement.
So write down, put pen to paper and write down all the achievements, but also be honest and say, I still have a lot of work to do, and these are my goals for 2023, because the angels and Prime Creator, when you're in service to God and you are actually serious about your goals, about how to improve yourself,
they will help you so much.
They will go to bat for you. They will go the extra mile for you, and there will be so much angelic support available
and
for
not
you.
if you're in victim consciousness.
And you can still turn things around. Even if you're in the dark, even if you're in a negative vibration, you can still turn things around and navigate 2023
like a warrior.
When we say with mastery, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect.
No.
It just means you have to be moving in the right direction and not falling victim to hatred, blame, and anger, and any negative vibrations towards others.
Okay, where do we want to go next? So basically, let's see. Okay. This is perfect. So basically there is a major separation going on right now of the wheat from the chaff. There's like a separation of energies going on from the Ascension energies. And we're seeing this. And this separation is going on a cosmic scale. We don't know what's causing the separation, but there is a separation of vibration happening right now. And I'm going to go into a few examples to give you guys actual guidance, actual examples of what we mean by this. So Aloha Ra from India asks, she says, panic attacks, feeling of emptiness, numbness, sickness, severe disgust or negative energy, even from a simple Zoom call. I don't know what's going on. I can't even handle a Zoom call. I can't even go to the market without feeling this way. I feel paralyzed. I feel sick. So I want to get into that. Many of you are feeling this way. You're feeling numb. You're feeling lost. You're feeling disgusted. You're feeling confused. So let's get into that for a moment. The pandemic right now, as I mentioned earlier, is that humanity has been cut off from their internal guidance system. They've been cut off from their feeling sensors. One of the superpowers that I possess is that I am a powerhouse when it is connection to your heart. Like I am connected to my heart more than anyone else I know on this planet.
I can attest to that.
And that is my North Star. That is my guidance. So even in the office of Christ,
I'm the second best after
her. I'm not sure about that. Like he has many superpowers, but when it comes to connection from the heart, I kick his ass. And a lot of guys, like a lot of men have that. So being heart-centered, like many of you are heart-centered and you'll be like, oh, we're heart-centered. You know, one of the superpowers I have is in the office of Christ. When I'm talking to people, when I'm navigating life, I let my heart guide me every step of the way. And it's easy for me, it's second nature to me. This is what I want to talk about today. This is a superpower that every single one of us has. Every single one of us has. And what that means is clearing the clutter of the mind and not making decisions from the head, but allowing the heart to guide you. Now, this sounds very simple, but why is it so hard? Your ego is your mind, your head. Your negative ego is all head, logical thinking. Oh my God, like for example, let's say somebody comes to you and says, let's say 5 girls come to you and say, hey, you know what? This one girl in your friend circle, she's not good and we're all gonna kick her out of our group or whatever the case. Most of humanity are so numb that they cannot even look at the two situations and have their own voice, not because they're bad people, but because they're literally not connected to their heart. Okay? So now what I'm going to teach you, and Aloha, this is such a good question. What I'm going to teach you today is how to make decisions from your heart and not a knee-jerk reaction. So the first thing is energy never lies. Really absorb this. You guys already know this. Energy never lies. So if you're in a Zoom call and in your head you're like, okay, I'm in a Zoom call with the most amazing friends I have, or whatever, you're in a Zoom call with people and you don't feel good. But these girls, let's say, I'm just going to use the same example I started. Let's say a bunch of 5 girls are telling you negative stuff about this one girl. Okay? You're in a Zoom call with these 5 girls and you feel sick. And you think it is because you're talking about all the nasty things the other girl did. Energy never lies. Whoever is in front of you, whoever you're talking to, whoever you're sitting with, you're feeling the energy from your interaction with them. So to your point, why are you feeling sick about this Zoom call? Why are you having so much energy, negative energy? Because something is off. And what I want you guys to do is become unapologetic about dropping people in your lives that make you feel that way. Your body, not your mind, your body has a quantum intelligence. Your body's intelligence is the most superior form of intelligence. Your body's intelligence is connected to your heart's intelligence, okay? So when you start making decisions from your heart will guide you. And what I mean by that is really, okay, so let's go back a bit before I even get there. The mind will instantly go into a knee-jerk reaction. The mind will instantly go into blame. The mind will instantly go into logic. The mind will instantly go into stories. Oh, that sounds very convincing. That story sounds convincing. The mind is also unable to comprehend frequency. So the mind will look at a person, she has fair skin, she looks good, she looks pretty, she looks like a normal person, and say, oh, this is a good person. The mind does not have the apparatus, metabolism. English is a funny language. Anyway, your mind does not have the apparatus. Oh my God, apparatus to comprehend vibration, but your heart does. So your heart also needs a little bit of time because you guys are so blocked in your, why are you guys feeling so numb right now? Why are you guys feeling so lost? It's because you're disconnected from your heart. And this is the pandemic of humanity. So what can you do, number one, to connect to your heart more? We have said this a million times. Take time in nature. It doesn't matter if you need 3 weeks to get clarity on something. Do not move ahead until you get clarity, crystal clear clarity. Because right now, your ego, the dark, the psychic attacks are trying their level best. There's a lot of entity possessions we're seeing also in people that we know. People are possessed by entities and they have no idea. And what happens when entities possess people is that they narrate a very convincing story. You'll have no loopholes in their story, but their stories are based on deceit. Their stories are based on more than deceit. You know what it is? What we're seeing? Your unhealed emotions, your unhealed insecurities are becoming your biggest attackers. They're becoming your biggest attackers. So when you're in this state of lost, disgust, allow your body to speak to you. Go in nature. Go in nature every day. Nature is the best and free healing power in this world. It's free. Go in nature, spend 2 hours. because it takes that time. If you're like completely flooded with entities, spend an hour. If you don't have 2 hours, go every single day. That'll give you clarity. When you're in your head, literally drop to the chamber in your heart. Literally drop. Okay. Number 3, become unapologetic about who you want to hang out with. Don't let your logic guide you. Your logic may say, hey, I should hang out with my parents. I should hang out with my best friend. I should hang out with that spiritual teacher I'm following. But your heart may say, something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. I don't feel good when I'm around these people. I don't feel good when I get their emails. I don't feel good when I'm in a Zoom call with them. So allow your heart to guide you and become unapologetic about it. Okay? What else can you do? Take time for your heart's intelligence to come on, because right now these attacks, these ego manipulations, these psychic manipulations, this psychological warfare we're seeing on this planet is getting to your weak spots, and your knee-jerk reaction in that 1 second can completely throw you off your ascension path. Completely. So for example, this can go in so many different ways, you guys. Let's say you're in a 3D job, like you're in your 3D job and you're miserable. And let's say you're getting really, really frustrated because you can't get your 5D job. This energy of frustration can get so big that one day you might say, screw this shit, I'm just getting back into my 3D job. I don't give a shit about my ascension anymore. I'm just going to go back to my drinking. I'm just going to go back to life, eating my French fries and living comfortably because I'm sick and tired of this game, this waiting game. But what if that frustration was your last initiation before you got that 5D job? What if that frustration was your last milestone to cross? This is why Siman mentioned earlier, be unapologetic and be unwavering about your own triggers and your own insecurities. Write them down. I am insecure. I am frustrated. I am constantly craving love, validation, and attention from others. I am constantly projecting on people. I'm constantly in a bad mood. I'm constantly in a state of upset because my children are not my sense of joy anymore. I hate being around my children and I don't know why. Or I'm poor and broke and I know it's not their fault. Like somebody recently commented on our Facebook, oh, be careful with these people. They're big scammers because they're charging $18.88 for their festival. Now, this person doesn't realize that he's doing himself the biggest disservice by saying something like this, because we are not going to be affected by him. Instead, what if my blessing to you or him or all of you was that you are so in your divinity, so in your purity, so in your unconditional love, so in your mastery, that you can charge $18,888 for your offering. That's my blessing to you. Projecting is almost like, why is she doing that? Why is he doing that? It's a very blaming kind of energy.
And it comes from a place of lack. It comes from a place of, I am not worthy enough.
Yes.
How dare they be worthy? Who the hell do they think they are?
Yes.
So you always have to look back upon yourself. And I also wanted to expand on this case of numbness, apathy, lack of direction, not feeling any excitement, not feeling any passion in life, not knowing where your soul's purpose is, and just feeling completely disoriented and having no purpose in life. Many people are actually going through this. And EldoRa did an amazing job of explaining one aspect of this. And I wanted to go into a different aspect, is that many of us are feeling numb because all of our life, we have been disconnected from our feelings. And why have we been disconnected from our feelings? Because our parents have told us what to do. Our society has told us, you need to be an engineer, you need to go to school, you need to get this degree. Our parents have told us, by the time you're this age, you need to get married, otherwise there won't be enough time to have children. You need to have at least 3 children because I want 3 grandchildren. So you have been programmed since a very young age that in order to be a good person, you need to meet all the markers. You need to be an A+ student. You need to excel in everything you do. You need to, it's like you need to win the rat race and you need to please society. You need to live by the standards of everybody else other than yourself in order to be a good person. That's how you value yourself. So if you got a B, you suddenly go into shock that I'm not a good person. Then your value system is messed up.
Exactly.
So you basically numb yourself from a young age and say, hey, mommy, I got an A, give me love. and hey, I was a good person today. I did so and so. I did all the chores. I made you happy. See, I'm a good person. But you see, unconditional love would be that you're a good person regardless of what you did or achieved or whatever. You are inherently a child of God. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. So what happens in Earth, this is one of the densest planets for a reason. We come here and we make ourselves numb because we realize that anything that my heart desires doesn't matter, because I need to fulfill all of these other expectations from all different directions: society, government, my employer, my
Cultural,
parents,
religious.
my teachers, religion. I need to pray 5 times a day. I need to go to church on Sunday or I'm a bad person.
These are all traps of
All
the
of these
matrix.
traps of the matrix
Yes.
have designed to squish our light into numbness. So we become so numb by the time we're like in our 30s and 40s. We've gone so, it's like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're driving on the highway and you take the wrong turn. So this is a parable for your childhood when you made yourself numb and you took a wrong turn and you followed everybody else's voice. But let's say you take this wrong turn on the highway, but you've been driving on that wrong turn for 40 years now. How are you going to feel? If your GPS is like blaring at you and saying, hey, turn back, this is not the right direction, you're going to literally shut down the GPS and say, this is so annoying. This voice keeps telling me to go back, but I know I must go in this direction. So our mind has programmed us to go in this direction and keep running in the same direction, to the point that we have to literally numb out our feelings. Our GPS is our feelings. Our internal guidance system is our feelings. And our feelings are always going to tell us, listen, you're going in the wrong direction. So because our feelings are always telling us that we're going in the wrong direction, we have to numb out our feelings in order to survive. But that's what causes this numbness. By the time we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, we need to realize that, oh my God, I have numbed out my own inner guidance system.
Right.
I have to now take time to reactivate my inner guidance system by sitting with my feelings.
Yes.
And that can be, if you're numb, somebody asks you, if you're numb, somebody asks you, how are you doing in life? I'm great. I have a wife and kids. I have a good job. I'm feeling great, when you could be feeling shitty inside.
Yes.
But you're so convinced in your story. You've been lying to yourself for so long that you constantly repeat these lies to others. I'm doing great, when you are not okay. So when you sit with your feelings in silence, when you go in nature, when you literally go and sit in silence, that's why it's so difficult for most people to meditate, because the minute they meditate, their feelings start feeling like, oh my God, my life is not okay. Oh my God, like I've been going in the wrong direction for so long. But this is part of the process. So you have to be really honest with yourself and realize that I have to be honest with myself. Even if if I've been going in the wrong direction for 40 years, I owe it to myself to today at least to be honest with myself and realize that the biggest gift I can give myself is to say, admit to myself that I've been going in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Because that is the beginning. That is your day one.
Yes.
That is when you're honest with yourself, that is the starting point of you making your life better. And how can you be honest with yourself? You can literally say, I have numbed out my feelings to the extent that I have no idea what my soul's purpose is.
Yes.
You can literally be honest and say, I have done this to myself and I have no idea what I really came here to do. I don't like my job. May not like my children. I may not like my spouse. And many people also fall into the trap that we have to always please others. We have to please our parents. We have to please our children. We have to please our spouse. That's why we're not able to be honest. We say that I'm going to sacrifice myself in this relationship because if I'm honest, it's going to hurt the other person. But you realize that you're doing a disservice to yourself and the other person by constantly lying to yourself. So start being honest with yourself and write down all the things that you really think are wrong with your life. And even if all these things have to drop away from your life, then you're going to find your true purpose. That takes a lot of courage, and that is the biggest initiation of bravery that is coming up for people right now. Courage and bravery is what's required to move forward with this ascension. Allowing things that do not resonate with your life is what's required to move forward with your ascension. And another way to get into touch with your feelings is to just lie on the couch and do a body scan. Just lie on the couch in silence for 10 minutes, because your body has an innate wisdom and an intelligence. So if you just close your eyes and put your hand on your heart and just sit on the couch and just scan your whole body, like a light beam is coming from the top of your head down through your body, down through your feet, and see what each part of your body is feeling like. When you start tuning into the feelings of your body, you're suddenly going to realize that your body is your inner guidance system. You're going to realize that next time when your friend who constantly sucks your energy comes over, your body's not feeling good around her or him, you're going to realize that, oh my God, this is my guidance telling me, hip hip hooray, I'm going to not talk to this friend anymore. I know how to listen to my feelings now. So that is how you start listening and tuning into your feelings. That's how you break out of numbness.
And you can even do this while eating food. When you're eating food, just hold it near you and say, okay, how is my body feeling about this? Because your mind will say, eat it, eat it, eat it. But your body might say, I don't want, that's going to hurt my tummy. That's going to hurt my tummy. I love that. I love that explanation. Okay, so we're going to wrap up by going into Hilda's question, which is just wanted to ask what, this is like the golden $1 million question. I love that we gave the yin and the yang. That was so deep. So Hilda, thank you for asking this question. She's like, just wanted to ask what Ascension Mastery initiations we are being put through right now, and how can we be more aware of them so that we can ensure we pass. I found this adorable because it was so cute. So first of all, guys, the first initiation you guys are going through is applying the initiation of applying all that you have learned in the last few years, specifically since COVID, since the last 2 to 3 years in your life. The initiations of balance, the initiations of discernment, the initiations of gratitude, the initiations of respect, the initiations of, are you still in envy? Are you still in insecurity? You've got all the tools. Are you using them? The initiations of frustration. Are you in frustration, or have you learned not to be frustrated? The initiations of projection is one of the biggest ones. Any single time you find yourself blaming someone else, always remember my analogy. You've got one finger pointed at them, but you've got 3 fingers pointing back. Most people are so lost in their story that they cannot even see their own shit. They just project it on others. The initiations of integrity. This is coming up huge, and I actually want to go into that right away. So this is a very big initiation. Can you be corrupted by money? Really soak that up for a second. Let's say you really, let's say you, do you lie? Do you ever lie to receive a refund? Do you ever, many of you might have done that. Many of us, I remember once I went to India, this was 20 years ago, and somebody stole my phone and used a roaming, stole my cell phone and made $2,000 worth of calls from India to India. So it was like a roaming charge. When I went back to Canada, I wasn't even awake then. I remember I called the cell phone company and I said, I didn't do it. I don't know what this is. And I basically lied through my teeth. And I got away with it at that time because the cell phone company said, yeah, we believe you. We're not going to charge you this $2,000. But in your ascension right now, I want you to evaluate, can you be corrupted by money? Because on the ascension path, it won't stick. If ever you're lying or you're not in your integrity to get a refund or to prove a point, this is a big one. Can money corrupt you? Because most people say, okay, we're going to pay money to go to this event or whatever. But let's say they don't want to go to that event anymore. What can they do? How low will they stoop? How low will they stoop to get a refund? So this is a very big one to watch out for. Because if you can be corrupted by money, guys, that's a very big red flag. One of the biggest initiations we have to go through as the ascending tribes is, can we be the light warriors of New Earth? Can we be so in our integrity? And I can tell you, integrity is one of the biggest initiations. Initiations of what else? Fear. We talked about it in the last one. Initiations of fear is false evidence appearing real. Where are you being tested for fear? All kinds of fear may be hitting you. All kinds of fear. Oh my God, is this person dark? Is this person not channeling the light? Again, tune into your feeling sensors. Because fear is always going to move you away from your higher self. It's going to move you towards your ego. I repeat, fear is false evidence appearing real. It's going to always and always, because fear is not a real thing. It's mechanics of the dark. Fear is always going to move you away from your higher self and more into your ego.
And also steer clear of people who are always creating doubt in your field, that they're channeling the dark and I'm channeling the light, because doubt is also duality. And the only reason people go into doubt is because they don't have their own inner guidance system. So if you're like, how do I know this person's channeling the dark or the light? That's another question one of you from our soul family asked us. You're asking that question because you're not
Yes.
connected to your own inner guidance system.
Correct.
If somebody else is creating doubt, then your discernment should automatically tell you. If a person is projecting doubt, they're not in a high vibration. So I'm automatically
Yes.
going to stay away from them.
If a person is trying to create separation, they are manipulated by the dark. If a person is trying to get people together to create their own agenda, and I will give you an example here. A long time ago, over 6 months ago, there was somebody in our admin group who I don't even remember her name. Like, she was, whatever reason, something triggered her and she left the admin group. Recently, when one of our Office of Christ members, Sistara, went back to the US, 4 people called Sistara's mother and tried to poison her against us. This is a very, and of course, Sistara she's like solid. She knows us. She's lived with us. She knows our frequency. And she also understands the frequency of unconditional love. Unconditional love will say to you, hey, here's your homework. You have insecurity. You have this. Go work on it. Let's fucking get this party started. That's unconditional love, because we've all had insecurity. There's no judgment. We've all had low self-worth. There's no judgment. Now, these 4 people who called her mother, where are they vibrating? One of the girls who called her mother was someone we just fired 3 weeks ago. Because she got fired, she wasn't able to self-reflect that I got fired because I was terrible at my job. I got fired because I had no integrity. I got fired because nobody in the Office of Christ, not Nicole, not Liara, not EldoRa, not Siman, not Merlin, nobody liked working with me. She didn't take any ownership. So instead, as soon as she saw the opening that Sistara went back, she called Sistara and tried to convince her. And 2 more people I don't want to get into, because this is the state of humanity right now.
This is the poison we're dealing with in
This is the
Lightworker
cancer.
community.
It's the cancer.
And people who don't have the basic integrity, not integrity, basic level of intelligence to realize that people who are poisoning others and trying to convert them to their own agenda, that's the lower vibration. Why? If you have a problem with someone else, that's fine. You walk away from it and you cut cords. That's the higher frequency. But if you have a problem with someone and say, now I'm going to use this situation to convert the whole world against this person and take my revenge, then you're in your ego. Simple as that.
And this whole group is infested with dark energy. So be very aware of your actions. And if you're
be very careful where you tread, because when you take actions against leaders of the light, you have some karma coming towards you.
Guys, really soak that up.
And I'm not saying that with vengeance. I'm
Not
saying
at
that
all.
these are the laws of the universe, and some people are treading on very tricky energies.
Some people right now, we've been shown, literally, there was some energy in our house that recently left, and without getting into the details, we've been shown that this person's actions might literally result in their ascension being...
Them falling off their ascension timeline, basically.
And really think of this for a moment. Every single one of us has that potential to get on that ascension train or get off of it. And we're judged by our actions. Guys, I say this with all my love. I want you to feel my love right now. It is not too late. It is not too late. Don't get in your ego stories. You know how in 3D, everybody gets together and everybody wants to have a party to like blame someone they don't like? This cannot happen in 5D, because as we're going through our ascension, this can literally, from your soul's perspective, you can be moved back 100 years in evolution, 1,000
lifetimes.
100 lifetimes. You may be moved back, saying, if this person is creating problems against leaders of the light, missionaries of the light, the order of Melchizedek, the order of Sisterhood of the Rose, that have showered nothing but love, grace, wisdom, channeled the highest teachings. And that's one of the initiations I want to get into. Are you in gratitude for your guides? Are you in gratitude? And I mean this, I mean every single one of every single one of us who has had an impression on you, who's helped you. It's your guides who you can't see. It's Siman and me as your guides. It's any other guides and teachers that you have learned and grown from. Do you have gratitude and respect for them? Genuine respect. And I want to give a shout out to one of our most loving guardians, Coach Kathy. She prays for us. She offers the highest protection. She's constantly praying for us. She feels our frequency. She's all the way like in the US, but she is a true guardian of the community. How many of you are true guardians of this community? How many of you have taken all of these lessons, these teachings, these tips that we've imparted, and truly sit and say, wow, let me also do something back for EldoRa and Siman. Let me also do something back for all these guides, not because we want anything from you. In fact, we don't need anything from you. But when you pray for missionaries of the light, when you pray,
when you even send them your protection, when you even send them your prayers, and you even take some time to stand up for what you believe in and speak your truth. If you see there is some injustice taking place, do you just idly stand by or walk away, or do you speak your truth? These are also initiations of humanity. In our retreat in Costa Rica, there were
this is a true story.
3 people started gossiping and backbiting against us without us knowing it, and we found out on the last day.
Actually, no, we found out on the second last day.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was this is a true story, guys. It's actually a true story that will give you guys a very deep and profound teaching. There's no judgment towards these 3 people because, in fact, everything was healed and they even came back to our Miami event. So there's no judgment whatsoever. But guess what? When they they were gossiping about us, we didn't know. And we felt this energy of psychic attack, and Siman,
we immediately feel everything.
All his galactic shamanism went up, and he's like, we're under attack. There's something off. And the angels, guides.
I just knew we were under attack.
Everybody knew. He said there's some negative energy. That's what we mean by attack.
Yeah.
And we are master shamans. Like, we're galactic shamans, and we have the highest protection that I know of. Literally, we have the Sirius lions, we have the angels. So as soon as that happened, we said, okay, where is this attack coming from? And it was shown to us that the attack was coming from within our group of 18 people. So the last day, we had a very powerful activation that was a surprise. Nobody knew this. Or I think they knew it, but they didn't know what it was. It was a life-changing activation that would connect them to their higher guidance system. Because we had gone deep that week with all the healings and all of that. We were able to go that deep so we could give them the activation. On the last day, when we got to know about this backbiting, not only did the 3 people not get the activation, but the whole group of 18 didn't. You know why? Because when these 3 people spoke against us after the most amazing retreat, not one of the other 15 people had a voice to say, hey, don't speak like that. Don't speak like that about our teachers, our guides, whatever, our friends, whatever you want to call us. And guess what? And those other 15 were like mesmerized. They were like, we don't know how to use our voice. Their throat chakras were blocked. And this is the kicking. This is the teacher. This is the kicker. You guys ready for the teaching? One of the girls started all this backbiting because she was very triggered by me. She was very triggered that when she watched us on YouTube, she had this trigger that EldoRa interrupts Siman all the time. And I hate it. I hate it. She had this energy of hate because irritation, frustration, whatever you want to call it. That energy became so consuming in her that instead of reflecting on herself saying, I'm pointing to EldoRa, saying she interrupts Siman, but I have 3 fingers pointing at me. EldoRa can do whatever she wants on her YouTube channel. EldoRa and Siman are madly in love. They don't even know they're interrupting each other. They're flowing. And that's the highest.
We consider that flowing.
We're actually we're so proud of it.
Cutting me off.
And we're so proud of it. We're like, we
register.
flow so freaking well. Anyway, she was projecting, and you know what the guides channeled for her on the last day in front of everybody? We said, you're projecting on us because you have been shut up as a child so much. When you were a child, your parents shut you up. They did not let you complete sentences. They did not allow you to speak your truth. You were asked to shut up. Your voice was suppressed.
And she actually admitted that was true.
She burst out crying. So we said, because of that wound within you, you're projecting on EldoRa and it's triggering you so much. So many of you, please go and watch our video on this YouTube channel, on this channel. It's called What Are Triggers and How to Heal Them. That's the best video you can possibly watch right now because it's going to teach you how to heal all of your triggers instead of projecting them on others. Now, what happened with this situation is that the activation was held back, and many of you are going through this activation right now. And what's it called? the activation of speaking your truth, the activation of standing up for the ones you love, the activations of loyalty, the initiations of loyalty, the initiations of saying, this does not resonate with me. So be very, very aware of these. There's also initiations of using your feeling sensors to discern between right and wrong, and then speaking up. So it's kind of the same thing. The initiation of being able to reflect on your own lower vibrations and say, I am in a low vibration, my life is not going well, I am unhappy in my marriage, I am broke, I am homeless, versus projecting. How can they charge so much for a festival? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Don't project, because the universe is abundant. The universe is infinite. There's no lack.
Exactly.
There's no lack.
You can create anything you desire. You just have to put your mind to it. But when you project, you cut yourself off from your own abundance.
There's another very important initiation, guys. The initiation of making solid, and I know many of you watching will relate to this. It's the initiation of making solid changes based on everything you know is not going right in your life.
Oh, yeah.
This is a big one.
That's what 2023 is all about. I'm going to just jump right in.
Please do.
Because 2023 is about, we had a decade to learn all of our lessons. Now the decade was from 2012 to 2022. This is just to give people a big picture. Some people awoke in 2020, they still have time to go through all these initiations, but time is moving forward more and more rapidly. So that means we have less and less time left to complete our initiations. So that means we can't sit in idle mode anymore. It also means that the decade from 2023 to 2032 is the year that most seers, most astrologers, most predictions point to the year 2032 as the cutoff point for this ascension, where we will have done all of our work, we will have harmonized with the frequency of New Earth. But this next decade that we're entering from this year, 2023 to 2032, is the time of us applying all of the changes as solid steps. This is the time where we set goals for ourselves. This is the time where we take solid steps and take all the knowledge that we have learned in the past decade and say, okay, now how do I translate this into physical reality steps? How do I, if I don't resonate with my job, how do I transition it to a career where I'm moving towards a career that resonates with my heart? How do I support myself financially? How do I become an abundance magnet? We've taught all of these teachings.
And what is blocking me from manifesting? Because there's a lot of people who apply to the Office of Christ. And as you guys know, the Office of Christ is the highest. Like, we can only work with souls who are service oriented. And what does that mean? I want to roll up my sleeves and get to work. I want to serve. I want to align my will to divine will. I understand that by joining the Office of Christ, I'm in a mystery school. And I understand that all my triggers may come up, all my insecurities may come up. I understand that all of this may come up, but I won't blame it on the teachers. I won't blame it. And all of us in the Office of Christ are in the mystery school together, including Siman and me. So all of our team, whether it's Nicole, Merlin, Liara, Ariel, Sistara, Amber, who am I missing? All of us embody this. We don't project blame. We all understand that we are going through a mystery school. So a lot of people apply to work with us, but they are not shortlisted. Do you know why? They cannot handle our vortex even for a day. For example, let's say somebody joins us and we're very direct. We are so direct in our communication that and all of us are, it's not just us. You should see Liara. She looks so pretty. She's pregnant. She's like a drill sergeant. She's so direct, so direct. Like, this is ugly, remove it. And we like that. We speak military style.
Yeah.
And a lot of people joining are like more like so chill that in one day they'll literally, if you join our vortex and you've not done your shadow work, you'll be like, I don't know. I don't understand how these people speak to each other like this.
It actually feels like we're in elite special forces unit, task force of God. And in this, the heat is so high. The energy is so intense.
It's not even heat. It's
like
intensity.
Energy. It's like things move forward so quickly.
And we love it.
People who have triggers, they cannot last very long.
Like, even in the thought activation, I was doing the thought activation with Merlin one day and I was chanting and singing and the energy was so powerful that there was a person in our house on that day, and she was like, She was literally looking around like this, projecting, saying, I don't know, I don't feel good about it, because all of her shit was coming up. All of her triggers were coming up. So you have to understand that when all of this comes up, it's an invitation for you to heal. And there is nothing wrong with that. Instead of, they're dark. You see, that has to change, my friends. That has to change. And in the office of Christ, that's another thing. We are so brutally blunt with each other, and we love that. We're so direct. We're so freaking direct.
We cut to the point.
That's our superpower.
We don't waste any time.
That's our superpower. But when people who are weak come, they're like, oh, these guys are rude, you know. We're not rude, honey. You're just really weak. Accept it. You're weak. You cannot... You cannot.
But I have to say, our vortex is not for the faint
and
of
you
heart.
cannot. We're a lion pack. You cannot work with the lions if you're weak. So accept that your 5D timelines are being handed out to you, but you may not be able to handle it. What do you need to do to handle it? Become a lion. Become a warrior of the light. Don't be like a mouse. You cannot live like a mouse. What does your house look like? Does it look like a mouse trap? Or does it look like a freaking lion's den? I'm serious. Like, what do I mean by a mouse trap? Does it look dark and dingy and full of clutter and no joy, no candles, no light? Or does it look abundant? It doesn't have to be big. It can be the smallest house. Does it look radiant? Do you light candles every day? Do you play angelic music? Do you light sage? Do you open the windows and get fresh air? Do you invest in yourself? Do you change your sheets every week? Every single week. We change our sheets and bedding twice a week because it's all energy. Do you dust your house? How do you value yourself? Do you take a bath these are all actually...
I take a bath multiple times a
No,
day.
no, I'm talking about a bath, like a goddess bath.
Oh,
yeah.
I never take a bath.
We take showers every day. So guys, I love you so much. I'm so glad we made this. I love you with all my heart. 2023 is a fucking bitch. I said it. It's a fucking bitch. So
if you're in a low vibration and
we're gonna
if you're
party.
still going to project on others, then it's going to be a
gonna
tricky
whip
year.
your freaking ass.
But if you're here to celebrate New Earth, if you're here to just be in love and receive other people in love and just, you know,
it's gonna
this
be
is
a
what
party.
we came here to do.
Yes, it's gonna be such a party.
It's either a celebration or it's a punishment. You decide.
Literally. You're either going to be in the party or you're gonna be in the... What's the other word?
The dumps.
Yeah, it's so guys, and I say this with all my love, every single one of us has that opportunity. Let's not waste it. I want you guys to be super honest with yourself. That's your homework. Be super honest. Take out a pen and a paper, write down all your shadows. Write them down. Where are you vibrating low? Write them down, and then face yourself in the mirror and say, holy shit. These are high vibing people. These are my teachers. These are my guides. They have taught me gratitude. They've taught me envy, how not to have envy. They've taught me how to raise my vibration. And I'm projecting on all the people in my life instead of taking ownership. And this will set you free. I love you with all my heart. We're off now for a nice dinner with Merlin and Nicole. We're so excited. We're going to the old town in Dubrovnik. And we love you so much.
We'll see you soon.
Bye, soul family. Comment below. Let us know how it was because we love hearing from you.